In the year 1999, the red plastic bag, volcano.
I ball out no for goodness sake. Then we heard it coming over the big sound system. Then we heard the warning. Heavy warning. Volcano in the fed. Water threat. Never hear a thing so yet. It's volcano kicking up. Soon erupt. And the lava getting hot. Ash in the air. Eruption in the fed. 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 Smoking, 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 smoking. Rumbling, 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 rumbling. Well, the people started jumping. Pandemonium in effect. And the soca music pounding. No evacuation yet. But the second warning was a long in coming. Hey, the people shouting. People shouting. Volcano in the fed. Water threat. Never hear a thing so yet. It's volcano kicking up. Soon erupt. And the lava getting hot. Ash in the air. Eruption in the fed. 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 Smoking, 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 smoking.
Once again, voice of the one out of Barbados, the RPB, red plastic bag, song entitled Volcano. This song came out in the year 1999. It was a big tune, still is indeed.
The ash, look the ash, look the ash.
Let's get hold of the RPB right now.
I see a wave. I see a wave. I see a wave. Look the wave, 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 look the wave. Calma, Brian, this is a big one, baby. Well, the fat was getting hotter. Still no emergency relief. With the steady flow of lava, I see the fire chief. But the next reminder was serious as ever. Was disaster area. Was disaster area. Volcano in the fed. Water threat. Never hear a thing so yet. It's volcano kicking up. Soon erupt. And the lava getting hot. Ash in the air. Eruption in the fed. Ash in the air. Eruption in the fed. Ash in the air. Eruption in the fed. Ash in the air.
Yes, good evening to you, RPB. Should I say good
Yes,
afternoon?
please.
Good afternoon in your time. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm fine, thanks. I should say good night to you.
Well, yes, indeed. And this afternoon down your sides, right?
Yeah, the sun is shining brightly and outside is warm, actually.
Wow, I wish I had that weather right now. We had snow this morning, a bit chilly on the outside, RPB.
Yeah, is it? I mean, I've been hearing about lots of snow on the ground up north in the Toronto area as well.
Okay, well, we in London, we have snow today. Quite a few indeed.
Well, I know that. I would like to believe that you know all these things that you need to do to stay warm.
Well, yes, of course. Try to. Yeah, once again, RPB, it's a pleasure having you. Welcome to RFI Radio 102.1 FM.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say it's indeed a pleasure to speak to you this evening. I'm looking forward to having a chat with you. For all the people listening, I want to say to you to stay safe and remain positive and hopeful of brighter days. You know.
Right. Thank you very much. Well, as you know, in the UK, we try and keep safe as well. We are in full lockdown. What's about Barbados? What's the situation like in Barbados?
We are actually in a kind of a lockdown. The Prime Minister is trying her best to make sure that it is not a full lockdown without any kind of movement, because she's very mindful of the how important it is to make sure that certain services are still available to the public at large. And so far it has been working. We're really trying to go all out to push back on the virus, because of course, you know, here in Barbados we depend heavily on tourism in
Yes.
the Caribbean in general.
Indeed, yes.
depend heavily on tourism. So we would have left our borders open to some extent to allow for visitors to come, but now there's a tightening all over the world, as a matter of fact, in terms of borders. So we are trying our best right COVID-19 to make sure we mitigate the circumstances as best as we could.
Right, right. I wish you all the best. Let's try and get rid of this virus. RPB.
Well, thank you very much. I hope that all are staying safe. Your side as well.
Yes, thank you. Now tell us, RPB, you were born in the parish of St. Philip. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. I said you were born in the parish of St. Philip.
Born in the part of St. Philip on the eastern side.
Eastern, yeah. So can you give us a little rundown on your early days, your childhood in St. Philip? Was it a struggle for your family? What was life like for you?
Well, I came from very humble beginnings, really. And,
Yes.
where I grew up in a very rural part of Barbados, quite easterly. As a matter of fact, the next stop after the village I grew up in is the west coast of Africa, really.
Okay.
Because I'm on the Atlantic side of Barbados, and it was tough growing up in a village, predominantly a fishing village, where most of the livelihood was derived from fishing, and it was a long, hard struggle for most of the young people in the area, and we had no choice but to dig deep, so to speak, and try to make best of what was available to us at the time.
Yes.
It was quite tough. What we were able to do is to get good education, because most people in school and get education, and that was used to a large extent to be able to help to get us more developed as young people.
Yes. So was your family fishermen as well, or you?
But yes, my father was a fisherman. My father was a fisherman, and my mother a hawker. I wasn't. I love to fish. Fishing really is a hobby of mine.
Yes.
But after school, I went working, doing accounts with a cargo airline, and I did sales and marketing as well. And then around 1995, and I started that in 1981, and then around 1995, I went full time as an entertainer. And that came primarily because of the popularity of the song Raga Raga that was becoming so popular across the world.
Yeah, we'll get to that later on.
It's at that time when I decided, it's when I decided to go full time as an entertainer. But trust me, it's not easy being a full time Caribbean entertainer,
Yes.
unless you're able to use your repertoire and your and popularity to be able to perform overseas, perform at home, and in the Caribbean, a lot of the top entertainers in the islands don't really get a chance to work in hotels and so on.
Yes.
Because of the way it is viewed. Because lots of hotels tend not to pay a lot of them really don't want to pay the amounts that may be due to the entertainers that are of higher standing, or those entertainers that are more popular. So more often than not, the work comes from outside of the island. And I'll tell you one thing: if I didn't get a chance to really perform a lot outside of Barbados, it would have been difficult for me.
Yes.
To make a living.
I understand. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
Right. So all I'm saying, So what I'm saying is that the reality is that once I got into the music, things kind of changed for me. I was able to do a lot more in terms of promoting what I was doing as a writer, as a performer, and as someone that was dedicated to the art form. But of course, there are lots of challenges for the average entertainer in the Caribbean. We still perform
Yes.
primarily to the Caribbean diaspora. Um, we have not been able to, I mean, for the exception of reggae that has been able to go mainstream, to a large extent, soca music has not really broken through.
True.
And that to me is because of the fact that it is linked to festivals, and because the festivals happen at a certain time of the year, and the music is driven by the festivals.
It's true.
And that is a
Yes.
major problem.
Right.
Because music that is driven by the festival would reflect only what is happening in the festival.
It's true.
Like all the joke and jam and the wine
Yes,
and the
yes.
flag and everything else.
Yeah.
Right, but it has to be the other way around. The music must drive the festival, not the festival drive the music.
True.
So once the music is driving the festival, you will get more, you'll get a wider view of topics and things to sing about, and it wouldn't just be joke and jam and wine.
Yes.
It would be more, the topics will be broader. People will sing more about love and trust me, storylines tend to last longer, and songs that appeal to a certain emotion tend to stick with people rather than a
agree.
song that just say put your hand in the air.
I
you
agree
get on the ground.
100%.
They become very seasonal.
Yes.
Yeah, they become rather seasonal. Not that they're not good for the time.
Yes.
Not that they're not good for the time and you can't dance to them. And not that dancing is not a vital part of it all. But if the music is supposed to stand the test of time, it must have more than joke and jam and wine. So that's just my view.
Yes.
Right?
I
That's just my
quite
view.
agree.
But
I quite
was
agree with
able
you.
somehow to survive.
Yes, I quite agree.
I was able somehow to survive the times and
Yeah.
try to I tried my best really to um to promote not only myself but promote the music that I was part of.
Yes, the art form.
And I think that every artist in the Caribbean should not just be something going to promote king. I'm going more myself or ours, but rather than promoting a certain genre of music, it has to be deeper than that. It must be that you're promoting something that is cultural, something that is part of something bigger than the song. I mean, part of who we are as a people.
True.
Who we, right. So these are things that I tend to want to do once I'm promoting
Good.
once I'm promoting the music and promoting the Caribbean as a whole, because I view myself as a regionalist.
An
Of course, I
ambassador.
love my country with all my heart, but I believe that the Caribbean itself, I think that we live in a very special region of the world, and that's why we embrace it
True.
with all our heart.
Indeed. Now, tell me, any siblings? RPB?
Yes, I do. I have two kids. I have a 27-year-old son and a 25-year-old daughter, and only my son decided that he's going to get involved in music in any way. Of course, he has a 9-to-5 job,
Right.
but he's a producer.
Okay.
He's a producer. He produces music. He plays stepan. He plays guitar. He plays
That's
keyboard.
good. That's good.
So he's very much into music and loves music with all his heart.
So he should.
I've always said to him, that if you show music love, the music will love you back. Music has a way of.
It's
If
true.
you put
It's
love
true.
into music, if you put your heart and soul into music, it comes out in the music. People feel it actually.
Yes.
What you put into a song comes out in the song. This is why when you go into a studio, really, if you want a song to be a happy song, you can't go in the studio all grumpy and think it'll come out. That kind of thing will come
Yes,
out.
it's
in
true.
the
It's
song.
true.
So
It's
you need
true.
to show love. You need to show some love.
Very much
and
so.
our music, trust me, our music what is reflected a lot in our music is who we are. We are very bubbly, very effervescent, very lively, sort of people in the Caribbean. So a lot of that comes out in the vibes that we put out in our music.
Sure. Now also, RPB, your parents name you Stetson Wilshire. How do you get the name Red Plastic
Yes.
Bag?
Red Plastic. Well, it's a strange story, really.
Yes.
When I was preparing for my very first competition in St. Philip, it was a domestic competition in my area. Actually, the group wanted to have at least 5 people in the competition,
Yeah.
and they only had 4 up to about 2 weeks before the competition. They only had 4 people in the competition. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to write a song, and I'm going to enter this competition. But I had no stage name. I didn't want to go on stage as Stetson Wilshire. I had no stage name. And I said, you know what? I'm going to get a stage name, but I don't want to be mighty anybody. I don't want to be
Yes.
Lord anybody.
Mighty
I don't want to be king
Wilshire.
anybody. I just want something that is, yeah,
Different.
I want something that would be kind of different, something that could be fun,
Yes.
and something that would seem almost insignificant. So I went to the beach one day and I came back all burnt in the sun because of my complexion.
Yes. Yes.
And a nephew looked at me and he said, you know, you look like a red plastic bag. I found it hilarious. I really found it hilarious. And I said,
Yes.
hey, maybe that's the name I should go with.
Yeah.
Because there's actually something that you can wave. There is something that has a color and all that. And if I had to go back now to 1979 when that happened, I would name myself Red Plastic Bag again. Because no matter where I've gone across the world and I've performed across the world, no matter where I've gone, the name immediately rings a bell and somewhat in the minds of people. Who is this crazy guy with this name?
Red Plastic Bag. Yes.
But I try to I try to let the music do the rest, really.
Yes.
Because people who listen to what I do would recognize that I'm very serious about music, and I have a very deep and profound love for calypso and soca music because of where it came from, and I do it with all my heart. And I always say to young people, if you're coming into this art form, do not come and say you're trying a thing. To say you're trying a thing, to me, suggests that you're really not serious about what you're doing, because for argument's sake, if you want to be, if you just can't put on put on scrubs, put on a lab coat, and walk into a lab in the hospital, take up a scalpel or whatever, and start saying you're going to perform some operation, say you're going to try a thing, somebody would die. So all I'm saying is that you have to take this art form as seriously as you would take any other profession.
I agree.
Because it's a serious business. When you look at the hard work that has been put in by all the stalwarts from all over the Caribbean over the years, those of us coming after those people need to respect the work that was done to move the art form to where it is. And when you think about where the art form came from, the significance of it should tell you that it's something that you should treat with respect and try to maintain that respect, the level of dignity that surrounds the art form.
I agree 100%.
You know?
Yes. Now tell us, RPB, now, how did it all started for you? Your musical journey.
The what?
How did it all started for you? Can you hear me?
It started really in 1979. It started in 1979 at this competition, as I said.
Yes.
Because I went into that competition in 1979, and I won that competition in 79, 80, and 81. And people encouraged me to get involved in the national competition in 1982.
Right.
And I went into the national competition in 1982 and won the competition the first time I entered the competition in 1982 at age 21.
Wow.
Becoming the youngest person at that time to have won that calypso, that particular calypso competition. And then there was no competition in 1983. It was rained out. And then I won again in 1984. So I went, pretty much from out of obscurity into the limelight. and it was as if Calypso chose me. I didn't choose Calypso because, in truth, in fact, I had no intention really. In my mind, having gone to school and the things I was thinking, I wasn't thinking about being a Calypsonian, but sometimes you're led by the spirit, so to speak, and God probably wanted me to be a Calypsonian. And I must tell you that my journey itself was, it was an amazing journey to be able to write songs and make people happy, becoming the mouthpiece for people, becoming the mirror in society, becoming the people's newspaper, so to speak. And I see myself growing up in Calypso as a representative of the masses, those people who never really got a chance to go on stage and say how they felt about any particular situation. So the opportunity that I got, knowing where I came from, I thought it was an excellent opportunity then to become the mouthpiece of those people who were underprivileged and who were not, whose voices were not heard. So that's why I sang so much about all the issues back in the day as well. So it is like it is as if that was my calling, but of course it didn't just appear to me that way in my early days. It happened upon me after winning those early competitions, that maybe this is the course that I should go. But people in general didn't want me to stop. So the people supported me in a way, and they wanted me to continue.
That's good.
And that was 1979, and this is 2021, and I'm still here.
Yeah, but you said at 21 you won the Calypso Monarch in Barbados. Do you remember the song you sang?
Yeah, I did a song called Mr. Harding, and a song called Mr. Harding, and a song called Sugar Made Us Free. And Mr. Harding was a song really, we used to burn this effigy of it's really a symbol of a man. It represented hard times, so we used to burn this man, this thing that just looked like a man and a hat and all that. We used to burn this thing as a symbol of getting rid of the hard times that you would have faced during the crop season. So my song was pretty much saying that hard times never really die, because hard times to the average fella is paying like bill, paying water bill, you know what I'm saying, paying for telephone, and all the different ills that are going on in the country. Those things represented hard times as well for the average person. So I was saying that those things could never die. So we could burn Mr. Hardin all we like. He's still going to be present, you know.
It's true.
And that is what, you know. And I went on to win the competition in 1982.
Wow.
And it went from there.
All right. Now you won the Barbadian Calypso Monarch competition a record of 10 times. Definitely you're part of the elite. How does that make you feel, RPB?
It is a good feeling. But I have always said that winning for me is not being crowned Calypso Monarch. I have always said that winning for me is when I could when I actually conceptualize a song. I write the song, compose the song, go into the studio, record the song, and I can put it out there, and the people can enjoy it and respond to it as if it was made for them. Because at the end of the day, it is the consumer, it is the person who the song is made for, that is most important. So whatever happens after that is not as important to me. If I go into competition with the song and I win, fine. But once I put that song out there and the people can relate to what I'm saying and they embrace what I'm saying, to me that's the victory in itself. The fact that you could make a song to make people happy, or to represent the sentiments that they would want expressed. Right. So to me, victory could come long before you actually enter the competition.
Right. And again, it's a very big achievement for you, winning 10 times.
But yeah, it is quite an achievement. Actually, I actually entered 20 Calypso Monarch competitions in Barbados. Well, the Calypso Monarch competition itself. I entered 20 times, and I won 10. I think I came second about 5 times. So my career itself as a social commentator has been one that I would consider a success. But I was never one about titles, and I was never one to about titles and things. Once I am enjoying what I'm doing, once I remain enthusiastic about what I'm doing, and then once I feel as if I am doing justice to the art form of which I am fortunate to be part of, I will always
Sure.
To me that is always the special thing for me.
Right. And you won in 2007, and in 2008 you came back to defend the title, and I think you came out second place to Adrian Clark. What went wrong?
To Adrian Clark, yeah.
Yeah. What went wrong?
Adrian was really good on the night, and I believe it was a competition that was close. The thing, Adrian was.
It's a bit distorted. Can you hear me now?
The reality is that at the end of the day, it is who is probably most impactful on the night that can sway judges. And Adrian was really great on that night, and he won. And I'm happy that I was able to come second in the competition at that time. And at that time I was viewed in 2007 I was already considered. They used to refer to me as geriatric in Calypso, but I was still enjoying it then. I mean, I enjoyed that actual competition. I remember that competition very well at Kensington Oval, and when I lost to Adrian Clark, and it was a great competition, and he won.
Right. But did you think you did well enough?
You
give it your.
Well, I did my best. If there's one thing I felt that I could have done a little better.
What was it?
I think that in my first song, because I usually in my performances, I like my performances to build and build and build and build in a kind of a crescendo, level of impact, and I believe that I could have pushed a little harder, a little earlier in the song to create the level of frenzy that I would have needed to push me over the edge. But it was a good competition, and I've always said that when you go into a competition, once you put yourself in front of judges, you gotta accept judges' decision, and because the judges' decision is final.
True.
And any person who cannot accept defeat doesn't deserve to win.
True.
And that's just my view.
No, I agree. And also, in 2009, RPB, you went back. You went back to the drawing board, and you won 2009.
Yeah.
Yes.
2009. Yeah. Well, 2009 was probably one of my best years in Calypso competition. 2009 was the year of Something's Happening and a song called Home Drum, and I believe it was one of those competitions when I was ahead in the minds of the people, which made it more difficult in my opinion. Usually when you go into a competition and the pressure is on you to win because people expect you to, it is more difficult than when you're not viewed as the front runner. You tend to push harder and you tend to give a little more because you're looking to get over the edge. But that competition itself was a good competition, and I was fortunate to come out as winner.
Okay, now let's feature this track, Something Happening, which is a very big song worldwide, the Red Plastic Bag, just for our listeners, okay? One sec.
Okay. Good. Right now we're talking to the RPB Red Plastic Bag out of Barbados. Live on RFI Radio 1021 on the FM dial.
behind
Live.
costume bag.
Red plastic bag. We say cheese on.
I see big truck keep coming down, kicking off every sound. Soca is all I hear, right from the start of day. All color, creed and class, moving together, making mass. Oi, 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 something's happening, and it's so exciting.
102.1 FM, things turn up, turn up, turn up.
People just having fun, one big celebration, must be a really grand occasion. Oi, 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 something's happening that you shouldn't be missing. Dancing along the street, moving to soca beat, and all the women looking sweet. Oi, 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 oi.
What a beautiful song, RPB. Something happening.
Yeah, thank you. I have a story about that song.
Yeah,
you
talk
know.
to us.
The song, I remember I went to Sao Paulo in Brazil to
Yes.
perform at a festival called Verada Cultural. And it was around 4:15 in the morning, and I was performing behind. I had to go on stage after a big Colombian band with about 20 members. Had the
Wow.
whole place jumping,
Yes.
you know. But I went on stage with a Brazilian band and Brazilian dancers, and I was going to be performing, but I did a whole set. But when I got to that song, I think that song was the third song that I performed on the evening. And when I got to that song, the response to that song was phenomenal, and the people were hearing it for the first time. And you know, they were responding, really responding. You're talking about 20,000 people in the street, you know, on our main street
Wow.
in downtown Sao Paulo at 4:15 in the morning, and the response was awesome.
Wow. But up to this day, RPB is a big tune. Still a big song.
Yeah, but it's still doing well. I perform it. It is a set piece in every performance that I do overseas, and people love it as a song. It has been used on many occasions in elections across the Caribbean. It has been featured in many presentations in the diaspora, and I'm happy. A song recorded at Chamber Studio with Nicholas Branca. He did, of course, you know, I've done most of my work between 1990 and now with Nicholas Branca. And yeah, we had fun in the studio recording that song. I really wanted to paint a picture of mass without calling it mass. You know, I wanted to use the something that paints a visual of mass on the road amongst West Indian people.
Right. And I take it you wrote the lyrics to that song as well.
Yes, I compose all my songs, and I've written for quite a few artists across the Caribbean.
Do you want to mention? Do you want to mention some of the names, or you want to keep this a secret?
Yeah, I wrote for Arrow. I wrote for Swallow. I've written for Bingo in St. Lucia. I've written quite a few songs for Bingo actually. I wrote for Alison Hines. I've written for Alison Hines in Square One. I've written for TC and Natalie. I wrote Spring Garden on Fire for Asili.
Okay, interesting.
I've written quite a few songs. I also wrote songs that won the. I was involved in 3 songs that won the Caribbean Song Contest. So I've done a lot of writing in my time, which I enjoy doing. I must say thanks to a gentleman by the name of William Arthur who taught me literature, English literature at school, and one day he gave me a poem called The Thaw and asked me to just tell him what I understood by it. And he, know, we were able to break it down and go, to see all the use of literary devices and everything going on within the poem, and that opened up my mind. That to me, my life changed forever on that day in terms of how I viewed language. And I think that once you understand the literary devices and once you understand the power of words,
Mm-hmm.
um, you will enjoy writing and reading.
Right. Amazing. Now let's feature another beat song of yours, RPB, Raga Raga. And this song, I think, is
Well,
one of your biggest track. Let me just play this song for our listeners, RPB. Okay?
okay,
1 minute.
okay, you can come back to me. Okay.
Yeah, of course. 1 second. The voice of the one, the red plastic bag out of Barbados. The song entitled Raga Raga, live on RFI Radio. 102.1 FM, man. RPB is live.
Come, come. I don't understand one thing when I try to listen to a dub song. I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried and I know that something wrong. Every time the DJ decide to play, one hands go up in the air. Everybody chanting, doing the bogle, oh what an atmosphere. But all I hear, I hear it, they're singing, they're chanting, they're shouting. Even when I move a little closer, I put me ear close to the speaker. I turn up me radio louder. You know I just can't decipher.
Yes, RPB.
Yes, please.
Would you say this is your biggest song ever?
Yeah, yes. Indeed, it is my biggest song ever.
Why? Why would you say that?
It used to be, well, it was once a theme song on board a Norwegian liner. Is was in a movie as well. It recorded in 7 different languages. Recorded with several bands across Europe, and is a song that to me, every time it starts, it tends to get people going. It tends to get people dancing,
Very catchy.
yeah, its popularity across the Caribbean and across the world really. It was able to get lots of airplay on mainstream radio in Africa and in the United States and Canada. And to me, it is one of those songs that we in the Caribbean can be proud of. The fact that it was able to transcend certain boundaries. But I mean, if we are going to, if soca music is going to in any way, break the barriers, so to speak, we need to have a holistic approach to how we're going to make it happen, because a song making it purely on its musical impact is not always all you need to get past a certain barrier. We need the right level of financial muscle to help us to interface with the powers that be in music, so that we are able to reach the right areas and reach the right people who are really the movers and shakers of the music industry.
Right.
I think that once we are comfortable within ourselves, that we have the level of respect and regard for what we are doing, and we believe in what we are doing, I think that we will start to see the importance of giving the level of support to art and culture in general. Because the cultural industries and the creative industries and generally, to me, these industries are important cogs in the wheel and the economic wheel of the world. And in the Caribbean, we should not be left behind in terms of how we use our art and culture. Really and truly, your art and culture, really, that's who we really are as a people. That's who you really are
True.
as a people.
Yes.
Creative industries in general will drive the world economy simply because of the fact that the times actually is actually forcing people to be more creative, to be more innovative. This is why I think strongly that coming out of COVID, we have an opportunity as a people and as a region to really build from ground up in terms of how we view our economies,
Right.
our Caribbean economy as a whole. For argument's sake, I feel strongly, and I've always said this, that we have to look at food security in the Caribbean. I think that our
True.
Caribbean import bill as it relates to food is too high.
It's true.
Right.
It's true.
And if your food and medicine is coming from out of the region, from elsewhere, it's not in from the Caribbean, then you realize that we have an issue. We have a real issue because we will always be, when there's a crisis, we are always going to be last to get what we need. But we have enough food in the Caribbean
True.
that if we really take what we are doing seriously, the amount of food we have across the Caribbean and in different countries in the Caribbean, we just need to have a strategic plan as to how we're going to feed ourselves, so that we can supply ourselves with as much food as possible. in
I
crisis.
agree with you. I agree with you 100%,
and,
RPB.
and these are things that we need to look at as a region, because we can actually save a lot of foreign exchange. Instead of having to import almost everything that most of the stuff that we eat in the Caribbean, we have to import, and it's to a large extent it puts pressure on the foreign reserves of the Caribbean.
Yes, I agree. If you do intend to go for politics, RPB, I will vote for you.
oh really? Well, I don't think I want to go. I don't think I want to go that road. I'm quite comfortable working. I'm quite comfortable doing what I'm doing,
Right.
in terms of promoting art and culture.
Okay.
And right. And I think that it is very important that as a region we do a lot more together in order to be able to cushion any impact that is happening on the international arena, so to speak. Very often, but anytime you are functioning as individual countries,
Right.
the impact on you may be greater
True.
than if you were part of a whole grouping.
True.
And this is why if we are going to bargain on the international market, an individual country is not going to have enough to me here in the Caribbean may not have enough to bargain for itself, right? But if we pool our resources together, then we can say, okay, we have this.
It's
This
true,
is
it's
the
true.
amount that we have. We want you to do such like a thing because this is what we are bringing to the table.
It's true.
But I think that these are things that we need to look at, and even beyond the Caribbean, there's a lot of talk about. Of
Yeah.
course, you heard all about the Black Lives Matter movement and everything else.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Black Lives Matter movement, the whole Black Lives thing, it is an economic issue. It is not.
Right.
It is not a race issue as much as it is an economic issue.
Yeah. But I hope you could put this. I hope you could put this forth to your Prime Minister, Motley,
Yeah,
Miss Motley.
Yeah, it is really. I think she's brilliant, and I'm sure that she's well aware of all the
Okay,
dynamics of
cool.
these things, right?
Now-
but it's an economic issue, because in truth and fact that if you don't have economic power, you're not going to be treated with any level of respect and regard. Where if anytime there's economic imbalance, there will be social injustice.
True. So true. Now, RPB, let's get back to your song, Raga Raga. As we said, it was one of your biggest songs, or it is your biggest track. What makes this song so big? Is it the lyrical content or just the melody?
I think it's a combination. I think the story is real. the story of it is real, and it came at a time when, but obviously there were people who viewed this as the same way as I did. You know, the dancehall music at the time was extremely popular, but a lot of the time we would be dancing to the dancehall music, but we didn't understand everything that was being said.
Yes.
But these songs were impactful. I mean, these songs were huge.
Oh yes.
And that song Raga Raga came out of something that actually happened. I was at a place called After Dark.
Oh yeah, After Dark, yes.
A song came on. I think it was by Tiger.
Oh,
And the
yes.
whole place was jumping and dancing and thing. And all I tried, I could not understand one single word that was being said. Right? And I said, you know what? What I'm going to do, this song has to play again because it's so popular. So
Yes.
I waited, and this song came out again. I actually went closer to the speaker to see if I could actually hear what was being said. And I still couldn't understand. I said, you know what? I am going to write a song about this.
Yes.
And I was driving home and composing.
Right.
I was actually driving home and composing because I said to myself, that there must be something wrong with me because other people are jumping up to this song.
Yes.
Right? I said, how come I cannot understand the lingo, you know?
Yeah, it's just Jamaican lingo, Jamaican patois.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
it is only after a while that I started to catch on to the phrasing and so on to be able to better understand. But obviously, the song was so popular in Jamaica. Strangely enough, the song was even more popular in Jamaica to me than it was in Barbados.
Right.
Right? So it said to me that there were people even in Jamaica who embraced the same sentiment.
Okay.
Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But Jamaican people to me are so real about life. That
Yes.
they embrace the song.
They're very
I
patriotic.
mean, show me right, and show me all kinds of love and everything. They recognize that I was not actually criticizing Jamaica's music,
Yeah.
but I was actually highlighting the fact that I couldn't understand it.
You're right, right.
Right? You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
it was more popular in Jamaica. And I had some of the most exciting years of performing Raga Raga through Jamaica because of the love that I received from Jamaican people.
Right. Now also RPB, you are a signature name in Barbados and the Caribbean worldwide. And of course, I always watch your performances as well. And you also feel with exuberance, you know, and the crowd seems to gravitate themselves towards you. Is this your nature, or is it something you practice, or you had to work on?
I believe, yeah, but it is something that if you want something back from anything, you gotta put it in, and what you put into something, you get out. What I try to do every single time is to show a level of sincerity on stage, so that people recognize that I'm sincere about what I am doing. I am doing what I am doing because I want them to be happy with what I am doing.
Right.
And that I appreciate the fact that I have an opportunity to be doing something for them.
Good.
So I show them, they can feel coming out of me that that I am enjoying communicating with them. And to me, that forms the right bridge between any performer and the audience.
Right.
And I never ever try to force myself personally on people. I try to make sure that they embrace the music more than anything else. I'm just a vehicle.
Yeah, that's why I said they gravitate themselves towards you, you know. The reason why I said that, there's a song you sang in, I think, 1999. Let me feature this track first, RPP. 1 second.
Okay.
Well, I thought I felt a tremor. Somebody bawling out earthquake. Some kind of natural disaster. I bawl out, no, for goodness sake. Then we heard it coming over.
102.1 FM, things turn up.
Heavy warning, volcano.
In case you've just joining us, this is RPB Live on RFI Radio.
Never hear a
102.1 on the FM dial. Volcano.
soon hear a
Yes, RPB.
Yes, please.
Because when you sang this, it was real. You had a crowd in a frenzy. It was like an eruption. How do you do it?
Yeah, well, actually, this song, um, was road march that year in Barbados.
Yes.
And was extremely popular in Trinidad. I remember being in the Soca Monarch competition in Trinidad and came in the top four. The Super Blue and Super Blue. At the time was Iowa George and Talpree had a song called the Old Woman Song.
Old Man Take It Home.
Right. I came fourth with that song in that competition. At that time, that was the highest that anyone had reached from Barbados in a competition down there. Of course, since then, Biggie went on to win. But that song, there's an underwater volcano called Kickham Jenny that is in the Caribbean Sea.
Yes. I've heard about it,
Right?
yes.
And there was so much talk at the time, around 1998 and the early part of 1999, about the possibilities of an eruption of this volcano or what it's going to do.
And the tsunami.
And so on. So right,
Yes,
tsunami and all that. So what I did, right, was to try to capture all the discussion and put it in song to one, highlight the whole volcano issue, but also create within the setting the eruption thing of, because at that time there was a lot of hand in the air and all that.
Yeah.
The whole ash in the air thing was a big thing at the time, and it was really impactful. And that's another one of the songs that gets quite a bit of attention.
Oh yes, it did.
In fets across the
Definitely.
across the world. Yeah.
Well, they say great is the art form, eh?
The art form is special. The art form is very it's a very, very versatile, very it's one of those, you can use it to sing about issues. You can use it to educate. You can make people dance. You can make governments respond. Calypso is a powerful thing, a very powerful thing.
It is.
And this is why you should, it should be accorded the level of respect.
It's true.
The art form should be accorded the level of
Right.
respect.
Now let me ask you this, RPB. When you're out and about or you in your comfort zone indoors, and a topic comes to mind, what comes first? Is it the melody? Is it the lyrics?
Yeah. Well, you asked an interesting question, because lots of people who are on the outside.
Thank you anyway. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Yes.
I can hear you.
No, I said thank you very much. You said I asked an interesting question.
Yeah. It's a very, very interesting question, and it's a question that I like to answer, because I want people to understand how compositions really work. There's some people who will just take lyrics and create music around lyrics. There's some people who will take a melody and write lyrics to them. But when I'm creating a song, I compose the two together.
Okay.
Because I think that there should be a perfect marriage between lyrics and music.
Right.
In other words, if the content of this music is of the lyrics carry a sad tone, you don't want the music to be bright and bouncy and bubbly.
Right.
The vibe in the music must match the lyrical content and the story being told. Like if you're going to be singing a song about that your grandmother has passed, right? The music can't be, you can't say me grandmother dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because to me that sounds joyful, right?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? You should go down the road of probably using a minor key, which is a sad sounding key.
True.
A minor chord, which is a sad sounding chord. Say, me grandmother dead. She, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So as to evoke the level of emotion that you're feeling from your grandmother's passing. So I try to compose lyrics and music together, because I compose using a guitar. I play guitar and
That's good.
compose lyrics and melody together, so as to make sure that I have the right the right feel, the right
Mm-hmm.
tone, the right vibe to match the lyrical
Yes,
content.
because one of the reasons why I ask you this, in 2017 you had a big song called "Boat Ride," and when I listened to the song RPB,
Hmm.
the lyrical content is just on point. The words
Right,
were
and
the words were rhyming. Everything was just on point. Can we
right.
just feature this track first, RPB?
No problem. No
Okay,
problem.
1 minute.
Oh yes, the water rock.
One of my favorite tracks from the RPB
The boat
is "Rockin'." It's live on RFI Radio 1021 on the FM dial
be right, be rolling.
with the tide.
The boat is rocking. So
He's live right here on your favorite radio station, RFI Radio 1021.
hold on to something, hold on to anything. 'Cause we rocking left, we rocking right, we rocking day, we rocking night. The boat is rocking, so come boat is rocking. We rocking forward, rocking back. We hope the mast stay intact. The boat is rocking, so come boat is rocking. Oh, oh, like we in a soca storm, some barely holding on. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. We could only hope the boat will stay afloat. The boat is rocking, soca boat is rocking. Hold on to something, hold on to anything. Hold on to something, hold on to anything. 'Cause we rocking left, we rocking right, we rocking day, we rocking night.
Oh, I love this song, RPB.
Well, thank you very much. I had quite a bit of fun with that song in 2017 and
Yes.
even beyond. Even all now performing that song is still a bit of fun because of the instructions. But really, there are some instructions in there built into the actual composition itself.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's a social comment. Is a social commentary. It's a social commentary, but it is woven into a movement really, and you think
Yes.
about the whole thing about oh yes, the water rough, and that's when we had the economic decline really.
Mm-hmm.
Every sailor must be tough because the boat is rocking. The boat,
Yes.
meaning our economic boat, really is really rocking.
Yes, rolling with
It's
the
a bumpy
tide.
ride, but we're rolling with
With
the
the tide,
tide. You know?
yes.
Yeah, the boat is rocking. Hold on to something, hold on to anything.
Yes, yes.
Because we rock. It's actually social commentary,
You're right. Okay.
and it's actually social commentary, and it's not just about a boat. It's just that is symbolic.
Symbolic,
really,
yes.
because people tend to use boats as, thing has sinking ship and all. People tend to use a vessel
Yeah, just like Gypsy.
as to be representative of countries, some kind of vessel. So it was easy to use
Yeah.
a boat.
But would you say it's
And,
similar to Gypsy song, Captain, the Ship is Sinking?
I think that the thing about it that makes it similar is the fact that I used a vessel. But what I did really with this song was to create try to create hope. Create hope within the song. In other words, giving instructions to hold on to something, hold on to, you understand?
Yeah.
But we rocking, we're not sinking, In
Yeah,
other
yeah,
words,
yes.
we just,
Yeah.
it's just rough seas, really.
Right here. Because I watched your performance, and I must say it was a brilliant performance on stage, all the props. You had all the
But
sailors
thank you.
moving from side to side, and you were at the wheel, the captain, all in white.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant performance.
I try to create, I try to create turn the whole arena itself into let the people in the audience be passengers on board the ship itself, and that's why I set up the captain's wheel
Yes.
on stage, and I actually had a mast,
I realized I saw that. Yes.
set up where that it was actually moving and so on. So it felt like a ship.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
if you were looking down, on the from a drone and looking down on the actual movement, it
Mm-hmm.
would look as if people were actually on board a ship. And the two side fills, the video monitors at these side fills, I actually had water in those, so you were actually feeling as if you were on board a vessel.
Right. Splendid performance. Very good.
Well, thank you.
I was very impressed, RPB.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
So,
you.
would I ask you, who's your favorite Calypsonian, RPB?
My favorite Calypsonian is the Mighty Chalkless, without a doubt.
Oh, yes, yes. Chalky.
Many years ago, as a matter of fact, it's Chalkless who linked me with a guy called Kenny Wallace, who passed about, I think he died, Kenny Wallace died about 8 years ago, about 10 years ago. And Kenny Wallace in the early 80s, in 1983, started to arrange my music, and I got that connection through Chalkless. But I was always a big fan of Chalkless because of his approach to writing.
Oh, yeah, he is.
How he exploited the literary devices.
Oh, yes.
How he was able, the angles he took, the way he approached topics.
He's very intelligent.
And I think that he symbolizes the essence of what the art form is all about. And
It's
I
true.
learned a lot from listening to him. I learned a lot. I understood a lot about lyrical impact in song from listening to Chalkless, and I recognized from early that a calypso really a social commentary should read like an editorial that has become a song. So
Yes.
if you can look at lyrics and read them, and the story is clear, and the story is told without music.
It's true.
I think that you're on your way to making something impactful. Once people can read, then understand the story, if you put it in a song, it's probably going to be even more impactful.
Yeah,
The thing is
I quite agree.
that content, the approach to content has to be important. And I've said it over and over and over that the reason why we still listen to Charlie Pride and Skeeter Davis and all these people is because they sang songs that appeal to a certain emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So content is always going to be important, and Chalkless clearly indicated to me that the content of a song is important. Not that music is not,
Yes,
but the
it's true.
lyrical content of a song.
I agree.
mean, when he sang Sea Water and
Sea Water and
he sang a
Sun,
song
yes.
called Pride. Fred Carl, Dubai Dubai,
Yeah.
all these songs. I mean, when you listen to these songs, the message is clear. So all I'm saying is that he has always. There's several calypsonians that I love a lot. But if there's one that I would single out as the one that I would say was always like a mentor, was the Mighty Chalkless.
Yeah. But do you remember a song he sung, I think, a couple of years ago, and he won, Learn from Arithmetic?
Learn from Arithmetic, yes.
Yeah.
And he also had.
This was a brilliant song.
Yeah, he also had a song once when he said when he's annoyed, he doesn't care about rhyming. He doesn't rhyme.
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Yes, I
Right,
think so.
He is right. So
Yes.
and the other one is about I ain't tongue too long, So I mean, when you really check his songs are rooted in the language of the people.
Yeah.
And this is why he has been able to win as much as he actually. I think he won 9 Calypso Monarch titles.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right. So all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, you will get to realize that strong lyrical content tends to win.
True.
And he has been quite
Okay. Now,
an inspiration.
RPB, I'll call out a few names for you.
Mm-hmm.
The Mighty Gabi, Griner, Raz Siley, Biggie Irie. Which one would you say was your biggest rival?
Well, you call Rasili
Gabi.
and Biggie, who were particularly involved on the party side of it,
Mm-hmm.
and the two of them they are fierce competitors in any competition, right? But as it relates to the calypso and Griner as well, Griner was more on the party side as well.
Yes.
The one person that I have had several battles with would have been Gabby. We have had some huge battles in calypso competition.
Right.
I mean, enormous battles. I mean, that was like tongue versus country.
Yeah.
It was always big battles, and yeah, he would be the one. He would have been the one that would have been
The biggest rival.
a huge rival. Always when he's in competition, because I mean, there are very few people that I have ever seen execute a calypso like Gabby.
Yeah.
The way he's able to deliver calypso is top notch. He's a top quality calypsonian,
Right.
and he was always that one guy who you had to look up for in the competition.
Right.
He wasn't easy at all.
Did you fear him at any point? Did you fear him?
I don't think that I don't think that we feared each other. I think that we recognize the importance of our
Right.
presence in the competition,
Right.
and we use that as fuel for fans and the actual competition and crop over in general. And I think it was more about the level of competition that we could provide on the night. At the end of the day, we both recognize that 7 persons judging a competition should not determine the strength of your song or what you really want to do as an artist.
Yeah.
And that's why I made such a switch in 1993 in terms of producing more party songs, because if for me to survive on the entertainment scene, singing social commentary I would have had to stay into competition to survive. I had
Yes.
to start making music that appeals to a wider audience that can allow me to work outside of crop over.
Right.
And this is why I started to produce more party music from
Right.
about 1993 coming forward.
Good. Yeah. So I must say, you guys are best of friends.
Yeah, we get along very well. We speak to each other fairly often. We have been engaged in quite a few things around schools and things over the years. We've done quite a few workshops. Just like him, there are four of us that are cultural ambassadors. Well, of course, every person should be an ambassador for the country.
Right.
But government has given 4 of us ambassadorship, which is
That's good.
Rihanna, Gabby, Alison Hines, and myself.
Good. Now, just before we wrap up RPB, I want to feature another track, Spontaneous. 1 second.
Spontaneous.
Let me feature this track first.
Okay.
My remedy for stress, it brings me happiness, those that I cannot test. Oh, cause it is my music, can't get enough of it, addicted I admit. Oh, and I shouting yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. When I hear these sweet soca play, and then I start jumping, and I feel like fetting. The vibe that I getting, my reaction is spontaneous. The rhythm of the music was my trigger. Spontaneous, right away.
This is a really party song, RPB. A big tune as well.
Yeah. I had quite a bit of fun with that song as well.
Yes, I remember when that song came out.
That song
Big
was
tune.
that song was produced by Red Boys.
Red Boys, yes.
And of course, Red Boys, they're not easy either. They've been producing
Oh yeah, big.
hit after hit.
Oh yeah,
after
oh
hit,
yeah, oh yes, indeed.
Mikey Husmeyer and Scott Galt. So always a pleasure working with them as well. And I've had, they also did the boat ride song as well.
Yeah, the boat ride. Yeah.
So I've had some good years with them. Um, they did quite a few songs with me as well, and and this song is a song that again is part of my regular repertoire when I perform because people love this song.
Oh yeah, it's a big tune, big party song.
Coming from a coming from an older Calypsonian, it's
Yes, a
quite
legend.
modern in its approach.
Yes.
Because I'm from the older part of the fabric.
Oh yes, oh yes.
But still, I understand how important it is to be relevant, and also to embrace the changes that would always come along with the time. So this is why I'm always so happy to work with young people and to assist young people and to listen to what young people are saying, because what that does for me is to keep me in tune and connected to what is happening now.
Yes. But tell us, Happy B, do you think of retiring anytime soon?
Well, yeah, I've definitely retired from competition. In
Right.
terms of writing songs and performing, I'm going to still continue to perform and continue to write. But what I really would like to do a lot more of is to work a lot more with younger people who are coming in
Right.
to the music business.
That's good.
Because I'm a founder director and current director of COSCAP. That is a corporate society, and the corporate societies are crucial within the frame of our music industry, collecting royalties for creators of music,
Okay.
so that people can actually get their royalties from the music that they create for their intellectual property.
That's very good.
Right. And so all I'm saying is that I want to stay around a bit more to just impart whatever little knowledge that I picked up on the way to younger people coming into the music industry in general, because I see a music industry, because although I'm involved in soca and calypso music, I recognize that the free movement of people across the world is causing a lot of the music to be fused. So the lines that define the genres of music becoming blurred. This is why the world has become one big melting pot of everything. So just now it's going to be difficult to identify a particular music. Is just going to be music. It's just going to be a song, right? Because of how the music is being fused. And by the same token, because of the free movement of people across the world, the lines that define cultures will also become blurred because of what I call cross-culturalization, right? Because there's a lot of inbreeding and crossbreeding and everything else, that creating different dynamics every single day and everything. So I am saying that the music produced would be representative of that. So therefore, it's just going to be music. I mean, I hear some music come out of the Caribbean that sounds like it could pass for Caribbean soca.
Yeah.
It sounds as if it could be. So all I'm saying is that we have to view music as music. This is why when you make a song, we just can't be thinking that we are making a song for 6 weeks of a carnival season or 6 weeks of a crop over season. We have to think about making music that can live
on forever
that can live beyond a carnival season.
Yes,
and not
it's
just
true.
be viewed as summer music or it
Well
has to
said.
be viewed as music
Well
that
said.
the world could accept anytime, any place. And as it relates to the topics as I mentioned earlier, I want people involved in the music that we do
Yes.
to think seriously about making songs that can be done anywhere, anytime, for any audience.
Right.
Because we need more of those songs in soca music.
I agree.
And when the pandemic hit and people were home and people couldn't go anywhere, soca music was found lacking, in my opinion, because it didn't have those songs that appeal to the emotion. It didn't have a lot of those songs that were uplifting. It didn't have as many. A lot of these songs were still joke and jam and wine and down to the ground.
Yeah.
We needed more songs that were uplifting,
True.
more songs that appeal to the emotion, more songs that speak to things that are broader than a festival.
True.
And I think that we need to start thinking down that road if we are going to make music that is going to be embraced across the world
So true.
and to be able to go mainstream.
Right. Now, RPB, I had your friend of yours there last week, Biggie Irie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a good boy, a talented,
Yes.
a talented man.
Very much so.
A man for all seasons.
Yes, yes.
No, he's not easy. As the trainees would say, boy, he got throat bite.
Yeah, yeah.
He could sing,
You
know,
could sing,
he
you could
he's
sing,
a,
you could sing.
Yeah, he's a. But you see, the thing is that, and he is as pure as it gets in terms of how he views music.
Yes,
He
yes.
gives music his all.
It's all, yes.
And
Very passionate.
And he's very passionate about what he's doing. Music will always love him.
Yeah, it's
because he
true, it's
loves
true.
music.
And there was a question I put to him, RPB. I'll ask you the same as well. What's your favorite food in Barbados? What do you like to eat?
Well, in Barbados, I still would eat. I like what people would call
Cuckoo and flying fish,
stew
no?
food. No. I like what people call stew food. I like steamed potatoes and yam and those kind of things. So,
Yeah.
but I would eat that with fish, any kind of fish,
Okay.
and I'm good, to go. It is more a Caribbean thing
Oh,
than
yes.
anything else, because I think that across the Caribbean, that is what a real Caribbean man, or a real Caribbean woman would enjoy. I think most Caribbean people.
I agree.
would enjoy
I agree. Now, RPB, what about
Yeah.
bookings and stuff? How can somebody contact you?
Well, people have been calling, and they're booking. A lot of stuff is virtual, and people are kind of a little skeptical about booking anything beyond a certain time. But
Yeah, it's true,
I mean,
yes.
like last year, for argument's sake, I canceled so many bookings of me all the way down from January all the way down to the end of December. You know, there were bookings
Wow.
that just couldn't happen because
Yes.
of
The restrictions,
pandemic. And this
yes.
is why I'm hoping that, because entertainment got hit really hard by this pandemic.
Oh, yes,
because
oh,
we
yes.
are primarily about audiences.
Definitely.
And I'm hoping that this
Mm-hmm.
pandemic eases up and we're able to get back into the full swing of entertainment. Because
Right.
I mean, the Caribbean has a certain pulse. Even within the Caribbean diaspora, there's a certain pulse as it relates to the music and as it relates to how we party and how we enjoy ourselves, and music is a big part of that. The music we
Right.
produce is a big
So
part
true.
of that, and we need to get back to having our fun times, you know.
Right. And also, RPB, I know you lost a good friend of yours, Mr. Alex Whiff. May his soul rest in
Yeah,
peace, and
well-
accept my sympathy as well, okay?
But thank you very much.
Yeah.
He rest in peace. He was the person who
Yes.
was very instrumental in helping me to secure a contract with Sony Music Canada for Raga.
Raga, yes.
Back in around 1996, and coming out of that, the song was played in the NBA final, and a whole lot of things came out of
Yes.
that for the song.
Yeah.
Raga. So
May his soul rest in
I
peace.
want to thank him for may he rest in peace and rise in glory, and
Yes.
deepest sympathy to his
Right.
family and friends and loved ones in general. I think that he was a stomper. He stomped the yard for Caribbean music and Caribbean people, and he was very much into art and culture. A good man gone.
Right, yeah, man. It's very sad, RPB. Anyway, RPB, it was a pleasure having you there on RFI Radio.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. I want to thank you very much. I want to say to you to continue to remain positive and proud of what you do for the Caribbean and what you're part of. Because I view people in the Caribbean in general as I think that we are special people in the Caribbean. We are from a special region in the Caribbean, and I think that people like yourself that promote what we do must be given credit for that. And I want to thank you for having me this afternoon. I also tonight in your time.
Yes, tonight, yes.
And I want to say to the people in your area who are listening or wherever you are listening, stay safe and remember that a brighter day coming tomorrow.
Right.
So just keep the faith.
Right. Thank you very much, Happy B, for passing through RFI
man.
Radio.
All the best to you. Have a good evening.
And you stay safe as well, okay? Take care. Bye.
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 The singing, the chanting, the shouting, even when I move a little closer, I put me ear close to the speaker, I turn up the radio louder, you know I just can't decipher. I went to a fete by after dark, man, you know that fete was the best. From the time I reached by the door, I felt a bassline pounding in me.
The boss of the one, RPB, out of Barbados.
Skills really
He said cheese on bread.
I just can't deny. The young and the old are singing it and not me, don't care how I
Once again, big up RPB for passing through RFI Radio, 1021 on the FM dial. The concert station, the pulse of a nation.